Hi, I'm MJ, and today I'm going to do a little class about elevating your spirits because right now we're in the middle of this coronavirus zone, and it's very depleting energetically and in all ways. And so I thought we would do a class today on elevating our spirit, elevating our hearts, elevating our minds. So we'll start today in a seated position. So sitting on the earth, bringing the hands together, and we're going to do this mudra today that we did last week, bringing the thumbs together and the palms of the hands are facing the heart. So connecting to the earth and feeling that. Remembering that connection that we have with the earth. How during these challenging times, it's the beauty of nature that nurtures our soul, that restores our being. So breathing in, breathing out, closing the eyes, and bringing the awareness to the breath. So as we're breathing, remembering that a lot of the media are talking about the importance of breath. With this coronavirus, they're talking about lung health. And one of the exercises for improving lung health is breathing in to the count of 4 or 5, pausing the breath at the top, and then breathing out to the count of 4 or 5. So that's what we're going to practice today, is breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4, pausing the breath, and then breathing out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in. Pausing the breath, breathing out. So if this is difficult on the exhale breath, sometimes it's because we have trained ourselves to breathe really quickly on the exhale breath. So we might want to just let it out a little at a time instead of so breathing in and breathing out. So you can count the breaths, or we can use Bhavanam Kevalam, which means love is all there is, love is everywhere, every atom in the cosmos, in the universe, and the planet is filled with love. And so breathing in, Bhavanam-o, which is 4 syllables, pausing at the top of the breath, and then exhaling, Kevalam-o. And breathing in, Bhavanam-o, and breathing out, Kevalam-o. So we can also breathe in the smile, Bhavanam-o, and breathe out, coming home, breathing in the smile, Bhavanam-o, and breathing out, coming home, Kevalam-o. So we'll continue that rhythm and visualization. Breathing in the smile, breathing out, coming home. Breathing in the smile, breathing out home, one more time. And breathing out. So if you want to practice this breathing exercise at home, I would do it for a good 4 or 5 minutes. And feeling the lungs as they fill up. So the lungs are big, the lungs come below the rib cage. So as we're breathing, we want to visualize that expansive space that's in the lungs. Breathing with the front body as well as the back body. And so we might practice this a few times with the yoga class today. So first we'll stay in the seated position, and we're going to inhale the arms up, smiling, exhaling to home, inhaling the arms up, and exhaling to home. And so we'll do this one more time, breathing, inhaling the wings up, and exhaling home. So this time we're going to glide the arms forward, exhaling down, and inhaling back up. Exhaling as we come down. And you can even engage the butterfly fingers again. Inhaling as we come up. So every time we engage that butterfly mudra, thinking and embracing that sentiment of being free, being happy. Exhaling down. Exhaling home. And inhaling up. And we'll do this one more time. Just gliding the arms down in front, and we're going to stay here for a few breaths. So this is a perfect opportunity to breathe in and remember to ideate on smiling, the sun coming in, and exhaling on coming home. And here we can really feel that back breath. Breathing in, smiling, breathing out, coming home. One more time, breathing in. One more time, breathing out. And then slithering back towards the body. And then we're going to raise the both wings up and take them to the side and plant all those 10 fingers into the earth and look over the back shoulder. Breathing in as we twist the whole body to the side, feeling that twist around the belly. Twisting to the side. Wringing all those worries out. Surrendering to that which we cannot control. And finding the comfort in that. Then inhaling to the center. Oh, look, I'm a coronavirus zombie. And then we'll come over to the other side. And sink those fingers into the earth on this side, looking over the back shoulder. Smiling. Breathing in the smile again. And imagining those troubles coming out of the third chakra. They're just pouring out as we wring out the body. Twisting and feeling that in the back and looking at that back shoulder for that chickadee. And then we'll bring our coronavirus zombie arms to the front and we'll twist one more time on each side. Planting those fingers, Feeling that twist around the belly. Breathing in, breathing out, and looking at the chickadee. So I take part in a chickadee breeding program. And then coming to the front. No, not really. And then coming to the other side. Sticking those fingers into the earth. And looking at your chickadee again, which is on the other shoulder now. Breathing in, breathing out. And visualizing those worries just pouring out through the navel. Giving them back to Mother Earth. Feeling that ringing of the twist. And then raising the wings and coming back to center. Closing the eyes for just a minute. Breathing in and breathing out. So then we're going to mosey over into the tabletop. So coming over with our knees and then getting on our mats in a position. And if you need to curl the mat up underneath your knees or put a blanket under your knees, you have time to do that. And if your wrists are the problem, you can always curl up your mat underneath the wrists as well. So inhaling and bringing that tailbone up, bringing the gaze down. And then exhaling and doming the back, and we might even press into the heels a little bit, so in that direction. And then inhaling, making that wave, and the tailbone rises up. The belly is coming close to the ground, and then exhaling. The navel comes up to the spine, and the hips go back. And they may go back just a little, they may go back all the way, and coming back to neutral. Always having the gaze downwards so that we have a nice long neck. Inhaling that valley in the back, pointing the tailbone up, and then inviting the exhale, bringing the tailbone down, taking the navel up to the spine and coming down. So listening to your knees there to see what they're able to manage today. Inhaling the tailbone up, exhaling and bringing it down. And feeling that wave of motion in the back. So then we'll inhale and come back up, and we'll try that one more time, making that valley in the back. And then exhaling and doming the back. Pulling that tailbone down, coming as far down as the knees will allow. So as we come up into a neutral position for tabletop again, we're going to bring the left knee to the elbow and swing that leg back. So inhaling the knee up, exhaling and swinging it back. Inhaling up, swinging it back. And we'll do this a few more times. Remembering it doesn't matter how high up the leg goes in the back, it's more the motion of swinging the leg out, of using the hip. And breathing. And then bringing the knee back home. And then we're going to do it on the other side. So inhaling the knee to the right elbow and out. Again. Bringing the knee to the elbow. Feeling that flexibility, feeling that resilience of human spirit. Staying on the positive, sunny side of the street. exhaling it out and bringing it home. So while we're here, we're grounded with our hands in the earth, with our knees in the earth. We're going to lift that left leg up and keep it up. And while we're in this position, we're going to head for the sunbird. So raising the opposite arm in front of us, looking down at the earth, being that sunbird, being that bird that flies. So how can we, during this difficult time, how can we embrace those things that help us to fly? Breathing in, breathing out, and then bringing the back leg in, bringing the hand in. Anchoring the body, mind in the body, in the earth once again. And then moving the weight in the back and the hips to the other leg. Raising one leg out. And as that leg is stable and the form is stable, we'll bring the other hand up. And breathing in and breathing out as we practice the sunbird in another direction. So how do we, it's hard to cough in this position, how do we find that sense of comfort in times that are shaky, like the sunbird pose? Focusing on the breath, to steady the body, pressing out through that heel in the back. Bringing the hands down, bringing the knee down. And enjoying the stability of the tabletop pose one more time. So then we'll bring the legs up. So I'm going to straighten my mat. Return to tabletop and bring those knees up. And as we bring the knees up, we find ourselves in downward facing dog. So spreading the shoulders. And then as we bring our attention to our feet, we're going to walk the dog. So raising one ankle at a time. Lifting up the left ankle. Then the right, walking the dog. So one of the nice things about this challenging time is that we get to meet all the dogs in the neighborhood, that we get to meet our neighbors. We get to exchange stories while we're socially distancing, and that is very sweet. That was very sweet. And then bringing both toes up, both heels up. Coming up on the toes, bringing them down as far as we can manage, and then coming up again and bringing them down a bit. So then we're going to step up a little bit because next we're going to do the puppy stretch. So we're going to come down to a squat and then come up. Coming down into a squat, breathing a couple of times, and then coming up. And then this time we're going to come down on the knees and the forearm. We're going to cross and interlace the fingers, and then we're going to come up in a squat. So squatting in this position. Breathing in, breathing out, and then bringing the knees down and coming into Mecha or Child's Pose. So bringing the head down to the earth. The hands can be above the head, or if you're feeling like you would like to bring the hands back, you can do that as well. Or you can bring the thumbs into the butterfly mudra once again. What is freedom going to look like when this period of time is over? What is important to us, what our priorities are, how are those going to change, and what is that going to look like? So we're breathing in that smile again, breathing out home. Honoring the earth. And then returning and finding our way back to tabletop. Back to tabletop. Lifting the knees and walking those feet forward. And as they come near to our hands, we're going to bring our wings back up. Come all the way up into snow-capped mountain. Bringing the hands back down and into the heart. And once again, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in the smile, breathing in the sun, and breathing out the coming home. The feeling safe, coming into the sanctuary. So here we're recalibrating our breath a little bit from being in tabletop. Finding the breath again. So then we're going to go into some arm swings. So in having swinging the arms, we'll have the feet hip width apart, and we'll start with the arms at the side. So then we'll inhale the arms up and back. Inhaling the arms up and back, up and back, up and back. And so can it be more relaxed and less deliberate? So the hands are relaxed, the wrist is relaxed, and the arms are going forward and back. Almost by themselves. Once again, that sense of freedom, that sense of being free like the birds. And then bringing the hands down, and we're going to take them from side to side. So we're making an X with the arms, and bending the elbows. And we're being attentive so that if my left arm is on top now, next time my right arm will be. So gliding those wings from side to side. Letting those elbows just fly. So then we're going to bring those hands all the way up to the shoulders. For a self-hug. This is a different kind of selfie hugs in case you didn't get yours today. So part of this selfie hug is patting the shoulders. Good job. We did a good job this week. Breathing in, breathing out. And kind of absorbing and soaking in that hug and that feeling of being hugged. And then we'll glide the arms out. Whatever hand is on top, we'll bring on the bottom and come around once again. Hug on the other side. And breathe into this hug. Breathe in that love and compassion that your inner companion tries to express to you each day. Pulling that navel in, pulling the tailbone in, making sure those knees are soft. As we slide the arms out and then bring the hands to the heart. Once again, breathing in the smile, breathing out home. So next we're going to do a flying twist. So usually when I do the flying twist, I do this version where we lift each heel. And today when we do it, our feet are going to be grounded in the earth. And so our feet are going to be hip width apart. And we're going to again twist from side to side with the hands gently tapping the body. But this time our feet are grounded. So inhaling in one direction, exhaling the other. Twisting from side to side. So here we are, wringing out our worries again. Noticing all the joints that are twisting with us, the ankles, the knees, the hips, torso, the shoulders, and even the elbows and the wrist are twisting a little bit. So, and then we'll take this one up a level, so we'll bring it up to above the waist. So the hands are flying and cutting through the air. The elbows are bending as the body continues to twist from side to side. And then we'll lift the hands and arms over the head. And the corners of my mouth automatically go up. And you could even do that or do a pretend smile. Pretend that you're smiling in yoga class. So again, the elbows and the wrists are still loose. They're going from side to side. We're trying not to go too fast. Don't need to get dizzy, and then we'll bring it down a level. Shining that heart from this direction to that direction and letting your light shine, just like the lights in a lighthouse. Shining that heart from side to side. And then finally we're going to gently drop the arms again. So we're not engaging the arms as much anymore. We're just allowing them to gently tap the body. Sometimes refer to this as the self-flagellation part of the program. Smiling, coming home. Smiling, coming home. And then slowing that rotation, that orbit around the body and coming back home. Bringing those those hands. We're going to bring that butterfly mudra again in and bring the butterfly up to the heart. Breathing into that and smiling. Breathing out and coming home. So physically we might be coming to our actual home, and internally we're coming to that home where our inner companion resides, inside our being. So while we're holding this position once again, we're finding that perfect posture, that perfect Tadasana, that perfect mountain pose. The knees a little bit soft, the navel in, the tailbone in, the torso rising towards the light. The heart is shining, the shoulders are back. The neck is long, so we're bringing in that forward chin a little bit into the neck and pressing our head into the clear blue sky. So freedom may look a little bit different after this ordeal, and we can start painting on that internal canvas of how things will be different for us. How will our priorities be different? So then we're going to come into sun salutation. So for the sun salutations, we need to come to the top of the mat because we're going to swing this leg back. So we want to make sure that we have lots of room behind us for sun salutation. And with the sun salutations that I do, instead of going from one pose to another, to another, to another, we'll probably repeat each pose at least 3 times to feel that resonance, to feel that resilience of each pose that we express. So we'll start with something that I call is standing sun, and it's the beginning steps of sun salutation. So we'll begin with that salutation, which is a greeting, Surya Namaskar, bringing the palms to the wisdom center, pressing your thumbs into that and inhaling, exhaling into the heart and the compassion center. Inhaling and opening the wings up to snow-capped mountain, and then exhaling nice long back as we come down, down, down to the earth. And we might even massage the earth a little. We love her so. Planting those fingers into the earth. And so to do that, you might have to bend the knees a little, which is fine. Actually good. And then inhaling the wings back up, bringing them over into snow-capped mountain, and then down and back to the heart. So we'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling wisdom, exhaling compassion. Compassion for self, compassion for the world. Inhaling the wings up into snow-capped mountain, and then they will come down to a T and beyond, diving down into the earth. And so this is where we sink our fingers, sink our toes, all of our digits are planted into the earth. And the knees can bend here. Inhaling up, coming all the way up into a snow-capped mountain and back to the heart. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in wisdom, breathing out compassion. Sweeping around. So it's fun seeing all the acts of kindness that so many people are doing. Diving down to the earth, planting the fingers into the earth. So So here, this is where we're going to make a change into the next pose. So lining the fingers up with the toes, so one hand is on each outside of the feet. And then we'll take our right foot back into lunge. So inhaling and exhaling into lunge for just a few breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. And then we're going to drop that knee in the back and bring the hands to the upper thigh. And breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And one more time, breathing in and breathing out. So then we're going to slide the hands down the leg and place one hand on either side of this anchored foot. And then we're going to take this foot back. And we're going to lower the hips. But we're not going to let the tummy drop. So we're in plank. We'll be here for just 2 breaths. Pulling the stomach in. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in and out. And then we'll drop the knees and we'll still maintain that plank. So the hips are still down. Breathing in, breathing out. And I'm bringing the shoulders back a little bit. Breathing in, breathing out. Pulling that tummy in and then exhaling and coming all the way down. So as we come down to the earth, we'll bring the hands underneath the forehead and breathe in and breathe out. Connecting with the earth. Remembering the beauty of the earth. Recalibrating the breath, and in that process remembering the smile on the inhale and the coming home. And you may feel that inner drummer drumming. There's times in the yoga practice that even though we're practicing slowly, we can feel that drumming of the heartbeat. One more breath in and out, a complete yogic breath. And then we'll bring the hands by the ears. Inhaling more fully into the earth. Exhaling into the earth. So in this time, we want to dare to step into the sunlight, and so that's what we'll do in Cobra pose. Inhaling up, sliding the arms forward, sliding the heart open as we come up from darkness to light. Breathing in, breathing out. And so we want to remember that as we glide down, we're going to go down slowly, like one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling and then exhaling as we go down. The hands are kind of hovering over the earth and they come back next to the ears. The elbows are next to the body. We'll take one more complete yogic breath here. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and inhaling up, and as we do that, we scoot the forearm forward. And once again, come into Sphinx. Feeling that Curve in the back as the cobra rises. They rise way, way far off the earth. So that is what we're doing. And then exhaling, we're lifting the whole forearm and we're coming down and then planting our hands back into the earth. And so on the last time that we do Bhujangasana, you can do it as Sphinx again or try to come up on your hands. So wherever your body is at today, inhaling and coming up in whatever expression you would like to show today. Bringing those shoulders back, the elbows into the body, breathing in, smiling, breathing out, breathing in, and slowly coming home. Lifting the arms up, placing them back down. So then we'll shift the hands back towards the waist, come up into tabletop once again, coming back in towards the heels once again, maybe bringing our butterfly mudra in once again. Sending that wish for freedom into the heart. And then releasing the thumbs, releasing the hands into tabletop. Curling the toes, and then we'll bring the hips back up and walk those feet back towards the hands. And as they come up towards the hands, we'll come up and rise up and make snow-capped mountain and bring those wings back to the heart. Breathing in. Breathing out. Trying to find the peace within the storm. Find our chair of comfort. So once again, inhaling wisdom, exhaling compassion, circling the arms around and up, exhaling and diving down. Coming down to the feet. And then inhaling back up, over the head and back to the heart. Where was it in India that it was raining fish this week? Raining fish. So apparently there had been inhaling wisdom, exhaling compassion. A tornado somewhere in the land, and it had released the fish that it sucked up from the ocean, diving down, planting our fingers, and had released the fish on the village. And all the people were so excited about the fish gift, the fish gifting from the heavens. It was very exciting. I'm sure when you have fish raining on your head, inhaling wisdom, exhaling compassion and kindness, sweeping the arms to the sides and up into snow-capped mountain, coming into a T and folding all the way back down. So finding ourselves in this hungover position on top of Mother Earth. And then this time we'll pop the hands a little bit in front And go back with the, oh, no, wrong foot, right foot. The other foot. So we'll find ourselves in this lunge. So trying to drop your hips down towards the earth. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And then dropping that knee. Pressing that knee and foot into the earth to hold you while you take a couple of breaths in this position. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Being determined to hold that position. Being determined to hold your peace. So then we'll slide down the leg, once again placing one hand on either side of the foot, and then we're going to bring this foot back, and we find ourselves in the plank pose. Hold that tummy in, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, trying to drop those hips down a little bit, breathing out. And then we're going to drop those knees, breathing in, breathing out. And then we're going to lower the torso down. And once again, bring the hands to rest underneath the forehead as we rest with Mother Earth. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing into the smile. Breathing out to coming home. Filling my being with the breath of hope. The breath of resilience. So then we'll move the forearms so that they're to our sides. And this is where we dare to come into the light again. Inhaling up, scooching the arms forward into Sphinx. Breathing into the smile. Breathing into home. And then remembering that as we exhale, we're going to exhale slowly. So escalatoring down. Bringing the arms back in. Bringing the forehead into the floor. Into Mother Earth. Resting there with the earth. Pulling those shoulders up if they aren't already as we inhale up. And once again, scoot those forearms forward and feeling that back as we come up into Cobra. Nice long neck, maybe pulling that chin in a scooch. Daring to be in the light even though we're surrounded by anxiety and worries. How to be that eye of the tornado. And hopefully there are not hundreds of fish swimming around you. Exhaling and slowly, slowly coming down to the earth. And once again, engaging in that yogic breath, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, and so this time we're going to either repeat the Sphinx or come up into the Cobra, Bhujangasana. Pressing the crown of the head into the sky. Listening to the wisdom of the body. Making sure that our elevation is not too high. And then we're going to slowly come down. So slithering down, coming down, coming down, coming down. So then once again, we're going to scoot these hands back towards the waist. Inhale into tabletop and come down into Mecca. Maybe your knees will be close together. Maybe your knees will be apart. Maybe your hands will be forward. Maybe your hands and arms will be behind you. So ask your body what it would like. Breathing in hope. Breathing in resilience. And then inhaling upwards, coming into tabletop, and then coming around to the side. We're going to go into tree pose. So rising up. We're going to do tree with the wall. My partner in yoga, so we're coming right next to the wall. Feet a little bit apart, maybe a palm, a fist apart, and then taking that pinky finger, sliding it up the wall, and then bringing that outside leg up. I need to scoot over a little bit. Bringing that leg up, finding your place in tree, and then bringing the outside arm up. Pointing this knee towards the opposite wall, so we're trying to open the hips. And remembering a tree that we've seen recently, and honoring that tree. Remembering how we take mental shelter and sometimes physical shelter in the trees. And then if you feel stable, you can bring that hand away from the wall. Breathing in, gazing at a point. Breathing out. Embodying that spirit of the tree who gives shelter to all. And then bringing the hands down, eventually bringing that limb down, and maybe we'll bounce both the knees for a minute. Because even though this knee, the foundation knee, is supposed to be a little bit bent, it's pretty tense after that workout. And then we can turn around and do the same on the other side. So trying to find your sweet spot. Having the feet, maybe a fist apart. And gliding that left pinky up the wall. Then we'll take the other side and bring this up and out. And pointing this knee towards the wall. And then bringing the other arm up when you're ready. And being that tree, there's a few flowering trees that are out right now that are just beautiful. So mentally embracing one of those trees. Breathing in, breathing out. So there's nothing like a balanced pose to quiet the mind. Concentrating on that form of the tree. I love winter because you can see all the skeletal forms of the tree and when they've had a tough time, bringing the hands down to the heart, and how they've endured those tough times, bringing that outside limb down to the ground, and maybe once again bouncing the knees. And coming down to the mat. So here we are on the ground level with Mother Earth, and we're going to bring our feet out in front of us and get back in touch with our inner turtle as we bring the soles of our feet together and dome our back and come down with our hands over the toes or under the legs. So however you would like to honor the turtle today, with the feet close to or the feet far apart. So I'm just dropping the head, letting the head go. There are times in life when we just have to drop the intellect. Just let it go. Let the reasoning go. And just be in the moment. Breathing in and breathing out. Allowing the head just to rest, just to fall. And the back to dome. So breathing into that back body again. Returning to that sense of breathing into the back body. Trying to breathe into the lower back. And feeling that breath moving like a wave from the waist all the way to the shoulders. Feeling the length and breadth of the lungs and how expansive they are and how they contract. So there's this dance that we play with our lungs during every minute of the day. A little duet of sorts. Breathing in, breathing out. Taking shelter once again in the presence of that inner companion, that inner light, and just basking in that inner radiance, and visualizing that in your heart. We all have it. And you certainly can see it when we're with animals, especially dogs. But in the cats too. So then we'll walk the hands back up. Coming into a position with our feet further apart than our hips, and we're going to do the Roomba or Rumba. Dropping one knee in the center, scooching from side to side. Thinking about new ways that we can stay positive. What were some of those things that we used to enjoy doing? What have I always wanted to do that I'm not doing? Can I make it happen again? So as we turn to the other side, we're going to pause here and walk around the body and back to where the back was a minute ago, and then walk the hands away from us and come down the forearm. And we find ourselves twisting and hopefully not shouting again. So one foot is right on top of the other leg in the back. Feeling this twist in the torso. Breathing into the twist. And once again, visualizing. So we can use visualization with yoga. All those worries coming out of the navel. They're just pouring out and leaving us free. How to surrender to that which we cannot control. And keep the mind in the positive tense. Being present with the twist. Maybe wiggling around a little bit if you feel some tension in a little corner of the body. And then on the next inhale, rising up with one hand, then the other, walking around the body. And coming to the front, where we will Roomba again. So we're going to do a few more of these. And then we're going to find our way to peace on this side of the body. So walking around this side, coming to the back, walking out from the body, perhaps placing your forearms on the floor, or maybe your body's not ready for that today and you'll be up on the hands. So choosing how you want to express the pose, always modifying a pose and not being afraid to be creative with the yoga, just as we all have to be creative with life right now. Getting in touch with our creative selves. So twisting to the side, seeing if there's any difference on this side as we twist those worries out. Twisting those worries out. Kind of mentally visualize them leaving the body-mind. Taking a moment to breathe into the hips. Breathe into the back and the bottom of those lungs. Trying to breathe in and breathe out, increasing that lung capacity a little bit if you can, and if it feels safe. Coming in touch with that. How we need healthy lungs, so sometimes we don't always think about that. And then coming up on the hands if you are not there already, and walking around the side, coming to the center once again, and then we're going to lean to the side, come on to the back, and bring the knees into the chest. So we're squeezing those knees so that they're going right through the chest and into the back. Exhaling and feeling that back breath. So then we're going to do this thing as we're hugging our hope. Inhaling and then exhaling and opening up into a star. Shining that hope throughout the universe and then bringing the knees back in. Hugging up that hope, sending it to every cell in the body-mind, down into the hips and legs, into the shoulders and arms, into the head. And then once we're all full, we're going to exhale into starfish, sending that hope into the universe, sharing it with everyone. And then we'll bring those knees in again, hugging up that hope, watching it transfer itself to every cell in the body. That hope of positivity, that hope of optimism, that hope of I'm going to have good times. Even though the bad times are surrounding me everywhere, I'm going to make good of this. And then we're going to exhale again into the universe. Releasing that hope because we have too much, letting it blossom and grow everywhere. So seeing and visualizing that hope as it leaves your body. And then we're going to bring the legs in one more time so that we can rekindle that hope, rekindle that inner positive resilience. And we're going to leave that inside. So we need to regenerate that hope every day. And so then we're going to come and bend the knees still, but reach the feet up to the ceiling. We're going to bring the hands up in between our legs and wind them around for happy baby. And slide from side to side. Once when I was doing a yoga teacher training in Costa Rica and I called this dead bug once, I thought they were all going to come after me. They said, no, that's happy baby. Oh, so happy baby it is. Now there's another version of happy baby which is not sliding from side to side. It is doing this. So we're going to do this for 30 seconds. And don't laugh. Whatever you do, do not laugh while you're doing this. And then rest. So we're going to take our left foot down and keep that knee bent. And take that right leg over that left knee that is bent, as if we're going to do thread the needle or figure 4. And what we're going to do is we're going to rock this leg from side to side. So the hands can be down as we rock this leg from side to side. So the hips can come up, or one hip. I don't know if you probably can lift both hips, but today we're just going to do one hip at a time and turn the foot and leg from side to side. For the hips, doing something special for them. Maybe your foot will come near the floor. Maybe the leg will come near the floor. So just rock and rolling these hips from side to side in a figure 4 configuration. So the breath can just roll at its own pace as we roll from side to side. And then we're going to straighten that bent leg and bring this other foot on top of that and turn it with the opposite arm over to the side. And turn our head to look at the arm behind us. So giving a little twist to the neck, twist to the torso, and here we are. No, we didn't quite twist out all of our worries, so we're back there. Let's twist them out. Breathing in, breathing out. Anchoring both our shoulders into the earth. Sometimes if your head is rising up in this, you might want to put a little pillow underneath the head so you can do this more comfortably. So the definition of asana is a position comfortably held. So we should not be screaming during asana practice. Taking this leg to the side and then letting it rise up. So then we'll put both soles on the floor and then raise the other foot up and rock and roll this leg from side to side. And sometimes you'll find that there's a difference from side to side because none of us are born symmetrical, or if we think we are, at some point in our lives that will change. So change is one of the things you can count on in life. Rock and rolling this hip from side to side. Breathing like the river. Isn't there a song? There's a song, isn't there? Rolling down the river. That's what we're doing right now. Rolling down the river. And then we'll straighten that base leg. We'll put this other foot on top of it, and with the opposite hand, we're going to turn that leg to the side. Keeping the shoulders anchored in the earth and looking at the hand and arm that's left behind. So twisting again. So in order to grow hope, in order to let go of worries or the troubles, you can't just do it once and expect it to be taken care of. And we might do that many times in a day, for many days, for many months. So if you're feeling that stretch in the hip is getting kind of intense for you, you can always give some TLC to that hip. Just rub that hip. Say, just trying to take care of you, darling. So I'm a firm believer in using terms of endearment for those parts of the body that we unconsciously, most of the time, stress out. Breathing into this twist. Breathing into that back body. Being one with the lung. Coming back to the center, laying the body out straight, and getting ready for Shavasana or deep relaxation, which you can do laying straight, or you can lift your knees and maybe bring your knees up, but listen to the body and see what it needs. And so if you're practicing at home, you can always slide a pillow underneath your knees or underneath your head, or whatever you need to be comfortable. So we're working hard to try to find that place of peace mentally, that place of comfort. Or can you create that? So while we're laying down, we're going to press the waist into the floor and then allow it to just bounce back up by itself. Press that waist into the floor. Nice little warming up for the lower back, and press it into the floor. One more time, and then allow it to rise. So while we're here, we'll go back to that initial breath pattern that we did at the beginning of class, which was inhaling with smile, exhale, coming home. Inhaling the smile to the count of 4. Exhaling home. So where is your own true home? So we have a home without our body. That's externally we have a home, and then we have a home inside the body. Finding both those homes. So as everyone lays down, and I'll get my guitar, and perhaps a tune will come into my head magically. There she is. As I mentioned earlier, this is Bhavanam Kevalam, which means love is everywhere. Or love is all there is. So the more we think that, the more that love that is embedded in all those atoms and molecules, the more it will manifest itself. That's what we're shooting for in our spiritual practices. Kevalam, Bhavanam. soaking in that stillness, soaking in that inner radiance of your divine companion. Who resides in the center of your being, always waiting for you to take steps towards that radiance. May you be surrounded and blanketed by that inner radiance in a very real and present way. Namaskar. Thank you for coming.